Hello and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Now, last time out I was trying head tracking for the first time in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and as I said before, I have tried head tracking before in other titles. I use it in Euro Truck Simulator, I've tried it previously in Train Simulator, Assetto Corsa, Formula 1, and indeed other flight simulators, X-Plane 11. Very long time ago, I think I used it in FSX as well, but I've never really tried it in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And in addition to that, I went and purchased myself a trackhat set, and the trackhat set is thus far proving to be absolutely fantastic. Not a sponsored video or anything, but if you're looking for head tracking, my recommendation thus far is trackhat. So what am I going to be doing in this video? Well, a couple of videos ago I tried to fly a helicopter and I was not very good at it. At least I wasn't very good at the takeoff and landings in particular. Now the takeoffs, I put it down to being just a lack of skill, and somewhat on the landings as well. But one of the things that I noticed is that I was struggling to figure out my closing speed to the ground, because I was essentially needing to look down while still being able to look around everywhere, and needing to look at the side to try and judge and figure out my closing speed and exactly where I am flying. So my question today is, can head tracking improve A, helicopter flying, and B, VFR flying? So today is going to be a complete VFR flight, and that is why I have Navigraph charts already up. We're going to be taking off here from former RAF Cranfield, now Cranfield Airport and University. We shall fly over Bedford. The plan is to try and fly over Bedford, get to the A1, follow the A1 north until the A14 and Huntington and Gumster, and then from here go past Gumster all the way down the A14 to Cambridge, and then figure out where to land somewhere in Cambridge. So that is the plan. All of it is going to be done VFR, no using any VORs or DMEs or ADFs or anything like that, or NDBs. All going to be looking out the window. This should be quite interesting. Make sure you stay tuned, and let's see both if head tracking improves my helicopter flying, I'm not sure if it will, and improves my VFR flying. Okay, so I've reset myself, I've got my full view. I think I actually need to bring this out a little bit. There we go. So I've got the view to the right, I've got the view to the left. I can look up through that window, I can look kind of through that window if I lean over, and I can look down like so. So let's go ahead and switch on our landing lights. Ooh, maybe not both, just one will do. Taxi lights can stay off, that is fine. Let's have a look down here. What do we have? Once again, I'll go ahead and put those lights on. No, sorry, that light on, that light on. Auto trim, I've still not worked that out. Position lights can go on, and we should be okay with the defog, but I'm still going to put the blower. Apparently the blower does not work. This one does. That's high for both heater. I'll still put the heater on, and I'll put, apparently those lights do not work. I'm still trying to figure out what does and does not, and I'll put the defog on. Okay, here we go. So all I need to do is I'll leave this. Right, so let's plan this up. Take off, and then we'll fly. We're going to fly east, look for those reservoirs, follow that along all the way around Bedford, follow that along, and I should be able to figure out the A1, St Neots, come back, Huntington, all the way down past St Ives into Cambridge. I could go from St Neots right the way across past Camborne actually. That might be a different option. Could do that. And I might do that. Or I might follow the river along. And then... There are various different options. Let's just see what I can do. So... everything is, I believe, ready to go. I'm going to slowly increase the power. And I know the aircraft is going to attempt to do that and rotate, so I'm going to try and capture that. And I think I have. We're drifting a little. But I've got something going. We're moving back a little. Nonetheless, that's a better takeoff than I've done before. I say that, this isn't great. There we go, I'm settling in now. There's a bit more power. There we go. Okay, we are drifting to the side for some reason. In fact, it's not for some reason, there is a valid reason for that. But there we go. Where's the compass on this? There it is. Okay, so we want to be heading... Let's go... east here. There we go. That was not a terrible takeoff. Surprisingly. I am very surprised about that. And we're continuing to have a decent climb rate and a decent speed. Speed now increasing, which is something I'm aiming to do very slowly whilst still increasing the climb rate. Not too bad. Now, are they the lakes that I was supposed to be looking for? Not entirely sure. See, we've still got this slight rotation, which I'm sort of dialing out very slowly as I increase speed. And that very well might be the things we're looking for. So that looks like the road. It is the road. Those are the lakes. Or I say lakes. I suppose they are lakes. Could be reservoirs. I'm really not all too familiar with this area. Okay, let's try and pick up some speed now. As we follow the A421, which is this road right here. Now that in and of itself is pretty impressive. The fact that I was able to do that. Okay, so the takeoff from the airfield was not the greatest, but I was able to fly around and figure out what I'm doing. Now let's try and figure out some of this trim, because one of the things that I'm having to do right now is have my collective push forward quite a bit. I want to try and stabilise around 2,500 feet. In fact, it looks like I may have just about done that, so everything going forward now should just be speed. There we go. Okay. And we are flying. 100 knots. I have no rudder input, or I say rudder input, it's the tail rotor input. Just got to keep this road right here. There's Bedford ahead of us. So we're just going to follow this road around and head towards the A1. Not too bad. Ooh, we are climbing a little. Helicopters, I have learnt, are very sensitive. Very, very sensitive. It's early morning currency. And as you can see, 9:50 in the morning, or almost 9:51. Where's the thermometer on this? That's an interesting one to look at. Where is the thermometer? I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. Of course, being a helicopter, it is very important to be completely aware as to what is going on around you at all times. Mind you, it's the same for an aircraft, any aircraft, but I just feel like helicopters require just that little bit extra as it is. I want to try this. What would happen if I then switched into, is it trip cabin lights? No, which one is it? Keep an eye on that. Force trim. What would happen if I then switch this on right now? What'd that do? Not entirely sure. I feel like maybe auto trim is supposed to be on, whatever that does. I don't know where that is. Pitot heat can go on. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'll continue following this. I could probably look at that. No. There we go. No, I have no idea. Auto trim's down here, isn't it? No, it isn't. Where is it? I know I saw an auto trim. There we go. Needed to descend the aircraft again. We were quite high. So just keeping that going. So we're just following this road along, city of Bedford right there, with some river going through it. It's a riverbed? No, that's stupid. What is the river that goes through Bedford? That's a good question. That's a really good question. What would the river be that goes through Bedford? Let's just climb just a little. Now the problem here is I could really do with the ability to look at a map that I do not need to scroll around whilst keeping my hands on the controls, which is not the easiest thing to do. There's Bedford. Continue following this road, which is working really nicely. So this is the A421. This is the A421. The river is the river... Oh, it's the Great Ouse. Great Ouse. Yes, okay. So that river's going to continue quite some way, actually. We are climbing a little bit more than I want. We're doing a nice 95 knots, which is fairly good. So if we just follow the A421 all the way along to the A1, that looks like Great Barford ahead of us, I believe. Yes, that looks like Great Barford. Which means the A1 junction is upon us, or shortly upon us. Right, I'm sure of it. Let's keep a lookout for the A1. Or is that... Oh, As I said, I'm unfamiliar with the area. So I'm just looking around for roads. And this could be No, this is Great Barford. I'm fairly sure this is Great Barford, so we should be coming up to the A1 junction very shortly. We are climbing. We've climbed to 3,000 feet, so I might want to just ease that off a little. Ah, yes, here we go. This looks like it. Got a roundabout. Looks about right. Yes, there we go. That's the A1. So we'll just turn and follow the A1. That's St Neots in front of us. I'm not sure if it's pronounced St Neots or St Knots. St Neots. Not sure. Might be St Knots. Well, anyway. Lots of traffic when they took that satellite image on the A1. As you can see. Looks like loads of lorries. That's quite typical for the A1, to be honest. Now, we could follow the river all the way up if we wanted to, or there is another road. Should we have a look? Just here, this junction that I'm looking at just above the instrument panel, that could be something to follow. In fact, let's do that. So I'll just highlight it with the mouse. That road there, that just came off this junction here. So it peels around there, follows along there, and then all the way in that direction. So we'll go ahead and do that. In fact, we're going to do something else. We're going to tip the nose forward even more and go full throttle. Let's see how much speed we can pick up. So this is Cambridge Road, the A428 Cambridge Road. We've got the railway here. This is the East Coast Main Line? Potentially? I think that might be the East Coast Main Line. And it's not quite on the East Coast, but yes. Actually, doesn't the East Coast Main Line go through Cambridge? Not entirely sure. Well, it's a railway anyway. Seems like quite a substantial one. Could be a spur. So we just follow this road now. It's not too far to follow it. And it should join up right near the A14, which is what I was initially going to follow, which is just out that way. Now, the interesting thing about following a narrow road like this is that it is very easy to lose it. So this is going to be a really big test of head tracking. We're climbing to 3,000 again. Fine, if you want to sit at 3,000, sit at 3,000, but do not try to get me to climb further. That's the other thing about helicopters. Well, at least at the moment, I'm sure I've messed something up here. But if this is what a helicopter's like, that you cannot really trim it, then, well, that's a problem. I do seem to be drifting. I do seem to have a drift on the entire time. Okay, continuing. There's the road. Still managed not to lose sight of it yet. I can see it snaking off into the distance, but It'd be very easy to lose sight of it. So I think this is Camborne coming up, potentially. Should be able to see Cambridge in the distance. Ooh, what was that? Not sure what that was. One of the things I'm also trying to do is trying not to have a tight grip on my controls, the cyclic as it were. Trying very hard not to have a tight grip on it, because it just takes small movements to change the pitch. In fact, just what I'm doing here that you see, that movement up and that movement back down, I'm actually just adjusting the pressure, and the controls are not actually moving at all. It's just the pressure that is being pushed on the control is giving me that much movement. So the controls are in one position, and then I'm just adding a tiny amount of pressure both ways, and that is giving me what I need. Right, so we have an airfield here. That looks like Cambridge. I would not be surprised if that's Cambridge. So this airfield here is Bourne Airport. And we'll just continue following the 428. And we shall wait until we get to... Let's try and lower ourselves a little. Back down to 2,500 feet. So we are getting close to the A14 now, the original road I was going to follow. But I suppose there's no real... Oh, this bit of stuttering. What is this stuttering? I've not had this stuttering before. I've had it in X-Plane before, but certainly not in this. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, continuing on our journey. Yep, Cambridge ahead of us. So where is the university in Cambridge? That's a question. Where exactly is the university? It's on this side. In fact, that is it right in front of us, I think. Yes, this here should be the Cambridge University. Let's have a peek at the university. Let's slow ourselves down. Drop, descend and slow. Let's get ourselves into a 500 foot per minute rate of descent whilst we slow down. Yep, that looks like the university. I wasn't sure if it was here or that side of the road. This is on this side of the road. Come on, we need a descent. There we go. Now we're descending. And we're slowing down. I say and we're slowing down, we're not really slowing down by much. But I'm trying to. There we go, 90... 80... Ooh. I would have thought that the university would be one of those objects that... Well, that's a bit disappointing. Oh. I was expecting the university to be one of those objects. I guess not. Oh well. Oh, Cambridge is a photogrammetry city. So why is the university not? Why is Cambridge a photogrammetry city? Interesting. Anyway, we're below 2,000 feet now, and we're going through the tsunami of photogrammetry. I should point out I am now on an extremely fast NVMe SSD, so there is really no excuse for this not working anymore. I have a gigabit internet connection, got 1 gigabit per second, so it should be streaming extremely quickly, and it should be loading and caching extremely quickly. That's the river cam. We've slowed down to 60 knots. There's an airfield. Perhaps we should go to the airfield, or... I'm disappointed. I was kind of hoping I would get to see the university in this. That is rather disappointing. Okay, well, it's been a good test. It has been a good test, and it does improve VFR flying, and I think... Well, let's find out with this landing. Does it improve helicopter flying? That is an important one. It's been a long time since I've seen those lighthouses flashing. A very long time. Green and white alternating means civilian aerodrome. So that is what we have there. It's the sun. Don't look into the sun. We're doing 50. Ah, that is the East Coast Main Line. There we go. Yes, there we go. I'm not sure what that spur was then. Let's descend. Let's start descending a little bit more. Come on. There we go. Get that descent rate going. Microsoft Flight Simulator does have there are so many positives in this title now, but still there are things that really could be improved. Where should we land? My plan is to land okay. My plan is to land right there. That's my plan. If I can pull that off. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull that off, but I'm going to try anyway. And I'm going to try and do a similar thing to how we bring aircraft in, but of course now I can really see what I'm doing. So I'm doing only, what, 35 knots? Essentially, I'm in a near hover. I'm sure I could slow down into a full hover, which would be very interesting. That's something I've not done in this sim yet. Is a full hover. But this is where it is going to be a very interesting way to fly. This is the part I'm not used to, and this is the parts where I'm hoping being able to look around will help me determine and judge what I'm doing. Okay, now I am in I'm pretty much in a hover at this point. Oh wait, there's a head. Oh, okay. I'm going to use that as a helipad. I know it isn't a helipad, but I'm going to use this as a helipad. Come on. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. Okay. Looks like I am in a situation where I really shouldn't have changed where I wanted to fly, or where I wanted to land. That's what I should not have changed. But I want to land in that circle. I forgot about that. I have been to this airport before. I forgot there was that bit there. It is working though. I'm able to control my descent a lot better in this fashion than I was previously, because I can even see where I'm going. That's a big deal. It's just these more sudden movements that I've really got to try to... Oh, there's that tail spin thing. Now I'm moving forward. But I'm able to... Well, I say I'm able to, I'm not completely able to, but I'm trying to counteract that movement. Yeah, I am essentially flying this helicopter very low and very slow. Look at that. Give it a little bit more. There we go. That's a near hover. Come on. See, that kind of movement's too much. That's the movement I need to try and avoid. Go back. Back. Yeah, I'm not quite getting it here. Yeah, I'm not quite getting it. Okay, I think what the problem is the way I've approached this, I'm now moving. Yeah, that's what it is. So I'm gonna let the aircraft turn around. Let's settle into... I think I know what's happened, and I'm probably better off doing this now. Turn the aircraft right the way around, so that I have all the other... Essentially all the other axes of movement is cancelled. That's what I've got to do. See, now essentially I'm just doing a circle around this, but if I cancel all other axes, so for example, see there, that, I want to cancel that and the forward axis. Whoa, it's a bit too quick to cancel the forward. There we go. And the sideways. Move the sideways, there we go. Okay. Still moving sideways. So that's another one I need to cancel. See, still moving sideways. Okay, apparently I'm landing here, but whatever. That was a really harsh landing. Where the... Okay. Let's try and just move. I'm gonna just attempt this, just out of curiosity. Whoa. Do not do a sudden lift. There we go. Just gotta try that again. Very gentle, I think. That's what I need to be on this. See, that there. No. It's very hard for me to fly this helicopter, and I'm not sure why. But it's... I had my landing all lined up perfectly, but then it all went wrong. Everything was starting to go well. Let's try again. It's like some sort of... Perhaps it's ground effect, actually. Let's try on the runway. Let's just give it a go. Whilst I've got a little bit of time to spare before I end this video. So does it improve VFR flying? Yes. Does it improve helicopter flying? Not. I think it improves the approaches, but I think it has no influence on that final landing point. That is what my determination of this is. Or maybe it does. Hold on. Okay, I see what's happening. We're getting caught in the ground effect. It is ground effect that's happening here. And we get caught in it, and then as soon as we get caught in it, it tries to suck us into the ground. That's what's happening. And now that I'm understanding it... Come on. Come on, come on. Oh dear. There we go. And now that I'm understanding it, I'm able to land the aircraft. So, perhaps it... Why is that so blurred? Why is the shadow... Like... Okay, never mind. I understand what happens. So we've got that, and then you've got to get out of that ground effect, and as soon as you're about here, you're out of the ground effect, and you're able to fly quite normally. But as soon as you dip there, it starts trying to suck you in. It's like a little vortex pulling you in. But if you're very gentle about it, you can land the aircraft. And it does take looking down. There is that. So, does it improve helicopter flying? I don't think it strictly improves it. But it does very much improve VFR flying. So that's probably what the title of this is going to be. Does head tracking improve your VFR flights? Massively. By the way, I'm actually nodding there. It really does improve it. So with that all being said and done, that is where I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video, subscribe to the channel for more videos on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's follow this road. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Don't forget to support me on Patreon if you can do so at www.patreon.com/ecgadgets. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really help me out. Also, you can find me on social media at ecgadgets, for both Twitter and Instagram. That's a lot of trees. That is a lot of trees. Perhaps too many. Anyway, that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Microsoft Flight Simulator.